I am here to talk to you about PFR, the latest in Bitcoin. No, PFR stands for possible, feasible, reasonable. Um, when we, philosophically, when we review games, the idea is to review as much of the content as is possible, feasible, and reasonable. That's the goal, the overall intent. Um, this is kind of a philosophical thing because a lot of people will review what they think is a normal playthrough, or maybe just the stuff they think you should do. But there's a whole lot of optional content when it comes to video games, more than most people tend to think about, especially when it comes to the larger games. You know, Baldur's Gate 3 infamously has what? I think 4 mandated quests, something like that. Point being, we needed this kind of a guideline. We've been using this rule for years now, but I've been hearing it questioned a lot lately, so let me try to explain it a little bit in brief. Possible should be easy. Can we actually do this content at all? I'm going to use World of Warcraft as the example. Is it possible to review the launch events? No. There is no method or vehicle that I have access to in order to go and see the actual launch events as they happened, along with everyone else being able to experience it too, because the player interaction is kind of important as well. It is not possible. Boom. It's not part of the review. Cool. Is it possible to review, for example, I suddenly can't think of the name that happened, the Battle for the Undercity that happens during Wrath of the Lich King. Yes. Okay, so we've crossed the first hurdle. But the thing is, in order to review Battle for the Undercity, I would have to start a new character, probably a Death Knight, level them all the way up to, I think, 72 or so? 72 or 74, whatever the actual requirements for that, and then go initiate the quest chain at the Wrathgate, and then be able to go to do the Battle of the Undercity. That is possible. It is capable of being done. But is that feasible? Not really. Not with my schedule and not with my time. So that's something that's ejected off of the list. But what about the Firelands? Or, actually, you know what? A better example is Domination Point. The 5.1 dailies. There's a few dailies there, and it'll take maybe about 5 days of doing about 20 minutes of content every day in order to get the rep up necessary to show off those cutscenes. Is that possible? Yes. Is that feasible? Yes. Is that reasonable? Yes. So you see, at each point of these, they serve as a barrier, a sluice gate, if you will, going further down. That's it in simplicity. And I know a lot of people disagree about the specifics of the whys and the wherefores, which is probably one of the reasons why this has come up recently. But the goal is always to review as much content as we reasonably can do with regards to a run. I know this tends to hackle some people because a lot of people look at the game and say, well, if you skip all that optional stuff, the game's fine. And while that's true, philosophically, I think that all that optional stuff should count for the review. After all, it's in the game. It's there, right? And as I've said several times, game development is a zero-sum game, which means that if you spend time to develop all that little optional content that sucks, then you have taken away time and development you could have put onto just making other stuff that's better. Or you could have shrunk the optional content and made it improved. You get the idea. That's it. Thoughts, comments, questions? Let me know.